Rory Mullen, you have a very interesting job. You're head of BioPharma for IDA in Ireland. What exactly is your job?
My job, one of the nice things about my job is it's so straightforward. It is to engage with the biopharmaceutical industry in the US and across Europe to identify mobile investment projects and then to try and win them for Ireland. So it's really interesting. It's straightforward. You meet a lot of interesting people. You are tasked with targeting the most successful biopharma companies in the world and then engaging with them and helping them ensure that they capture the European market as well as they're doing elsewhere.
So are you doing that personally, or are you managing a team, or both?
We have a team. We pride ourselves both on engagement with our companies overseas, and once they establish in Ireland, we've a very intensive after-sales service to engage with them. So we've a team of 10 people overseas and a team of about 10 people here in Ireland. The people in Ireland are primarily are focused on working with the Irish management teams on the sites, and the team overseas are focused on identifying new opportunities, both from our existing clients and from companies that have never been in Ireland before.
So do you typically manage those teams as well as your own administration and budget, and then only get called into those interpersonal dealings with large companies when it's required? Would that be accurate?
Yeah, I suppose I would. With our key clients, I would meet them all regularly, both at home and overseas. I mean, I'd see my job as supporting the people overseas. Their job is to develop those relationships with the companies, and it can help. If I'm coming over from Europe to be able to brief them on the new European pharmaceutical strategy, that the EU pharmaceutical strategy, are able to identify them on regulation, are able to speak to them about regulation in Europe. It can help them in their job in engaging with companies. And I would personally get involved with our strategic clients here. There are about 10 of them. So although they would have individual project managers, I would try and get out and meet with them a couple of times a year. The most interesting part of my job is dealing with the companies themselves. We can provide incentives for companies. We do have an investment board within our company that we would have to prepare proposals for, to make proposals to provide incentives for a company coming in. We'd also sit on national forums to ensure that the right talent is available. So it's a very broad and varied job, dealing with the infrastructure, with the universities, with the engineering companies as well, to ensure that that's happening.
Are you also having to interact with government officials so that you're a government liaison service as well to those companies that you're hoping to attract?
Sure, we're the primary contact for the companies, but we would also have a full-time policy unit within IDA that advises and liaises with other parts of government, either where our clients are having difficulties or where we want to ensure that there is a future availability of training programs or of university courses. So yes, we advocate with the rest of government. We act as a one-stop shop for our clients to ensure that their interactions with both the local and the national government are as seamless as possible.
How many different areas of responsibility and projects do you have in motion at any given time, and how do you manage them?
We would have probably in terms of investment proposals going to our board, that would be either assistance in new projects coming in, our research and development programs, our training programs. We'd probably deal with about 30 or 40 of those in a year, that would go forward to bring proposals up to our management investment board and onto our full board if it's above a certain limit. I'd also probably be on marketing programs in the US, probably 4 or 5 times a year, and probably the same in Europe. So it is and then I'd be traveling around Ireland to meet with the larger investors. So it's a busy, interesting schedule. It's an interesting area to get involved in because you're working with so many different types of companies, and then also interacting with the government system and the life sciences infrastructure as well.
Well, as you just mentioned, like there's so many different elements to your job. What are like the most essential skills that you have to be able to perform it well?
I think you have to have interpersonal skills are very important, whether you're persuading our board to invest in a particular company, or persuading a company that Ireland is the right place for them to establish. If you think about it, there will be somebody in the company who is making the recommendation that they should invest these hundreds of millions of dollars in Ireland to establish this manufacturing facility. That they're basically betting their career with you on this being successful. So you have to be able to develop a trusted advisor relationship with them. It only works if it works for both Ireland and for the company. You have to really develop that trust in that relationship, and that's probably the most important skill. It helps to be curious, to be inquisitive, to be interested in the world, interested in the industry, so that you can. Because there is a tremendous amount that you have to learn about the industry and about the variables that a company uses to decide an international location. So that certainly helps as well.
This is not the kind of job that you can go to a university for and say, yeah, I want to replace Rory in the future. What program can I take? What was your career path to getting to where you are?
Well, I suppose I originally did a Bachelor of Commerce here in University College Dublin, which is basically a business studies degree. After that, I went to work in advertising and promotions for a small Irish supermarket chain. I did want to focus my career internationally, so I went to and did an MBA in the University of Ulster. And that MBA was in international business and industrial development. So post that, I actually worked as a product manager for SmithKline Beecham in Ireland on their consumer products division, and joined after doing that for a year or so, I joined the Irish Export Board, which is an Irish government agency that helps Irish companies sell their goods and services overseas. So I actually went to Prague in the 90s and spent 5 years there with them just after that company came out of communism. And that was my first job in the government sector. So that was really interesting as the economy transitioned from a central command economy to a normal market economy. And the Czech Republic is very successful now. After I finished my time there, the opportunity I applied for and got a job with IDA in Southern California, working actually initially with the electronics sector. And I spent 4 years there, came back to IDA and got involved in the life sciences sector in Dublin. And then went out a second time to the US as head of the West Coast operations and dealing with the biopharma sector. So I did leave IDA for a while and spend some time developing, marketing and managing a business park for the government of Bahrain in the Middle East. So I've lived across America, Europe and in Asia. So it's been quite a varied and interesting career.
All of which, of course, makes you ideally suited for the position. But as you were moving from job to job to job, did you have any idea that it would lead to where you are now?
No, I'm not going to claim the credit for meticulously planning this career. I have, as I said, I enjoy working with different companies and with different cultures. I suppose I do believe I really enjoy the job I'm in now, and I do feel as if I sort of prepared for it by a lot of the work I've done. But if you'd said to me at the beginning of my career journey that I would end up in this specific place, I probably didn't know that this specific place existed.
So how important was your willingness to take chances and to go to other places in your career development that brought you to now? And I guess by extension, what would you suggest to a young person who's saying, well, I want to get there, but I want a safe route? Is there a safe route?
I don't think there is. I think is to take whatever opportunities come in front of you. When I finished, Ireland was still in the sort of still in recession in the late 80s when I came out of my when I finished my MBA, and it was difficult getting a job in Ireland with an MBA at the time. I ended up taking a job, a temporary job in the accounts department of SmithKline Beecham, because it was coming up to the end of the year and they needed people to help with invoicing. It was basically a clerical job. But that gave me the opportunity then to interact with the people in the marketing department, and I ended up getting a job as a product manager there, managing the Lucozade Sport brands in Ireland. And that opportunity, if I hadn't been willing to take a risk and just to take the job because it was a good company, although it wasn't the exact job that I would have planned for myself, I don't think I would have been able. I would have got the opportunity then to get into that brand management role. That was that enabled that. So I think it is about reacting to the opportunities that are in front of you, being open to looking at different careers, it is not necessary. Everybody doesn't have to follow a very linear route to the best school in the state, to go to the best graduate training program in the state. By the time you get to your mid to late 20s, people are looking for somebody pragmatic who's able to help them achieve their goals and is willing to work for them. And it becomes less important, I think, your exact route. So just if you some people are going to follow that sort of very classical route to a career in a large company. Some people aren't. So just react and be open to the opportunities that you come across would be my advice.
I agree. Thank you very much for sharing, the insights into your job and the path that took you to where you are. Appreciate your time today.
You're welcome. You're welcome.